The International Arctic Research Center, IARC, was established to promote international research and collaboration and to coordinate the gathering, synthesizing, and understanding of scientific data as it relates to the changing climate in the Arctic region. IARC is located in Fairbanks, Alaska, just 150 miles south of the Arctic Circle, and was founded jointly by the United States and Japanese governments in 1999. IARC's mission is to reduce uncertainty in Arctic climate change prediction. Many changes have been observed and documented in the Arctic region during the past 50 years. In order to understand the significance of these changes, it is vital to build an integrated understanding of the Arctic as a system. The Arctic ecosystem is highly complex, and one may envision it as three interconnected environments: the atmospheric environment, processes occurring in the air; the terrestrial environment, processes occurring on land; and the marine environment, processes occurring in the ocean. These three environments are linked, and they continuously interact and feed back into each other. Each of these environments embodies physical, chemical, biological, and social processes, and it is only through a comprehensive view of the interplay of these components that we may gain an understanding of the wide-ranging changes that are happening in the Arctic region. What parameters, processes, and interactions are needed to understand and predict future climate change? IARC researchers retrieve and deploy moorings that take various measurements in the Arctic and subarctic oceans. Temperature, salinity, turbidity, current strength, and direction are some of the parameters measured. Sea ice properties and extent are also measured by using satellite imagery from above and drifting buoys that measure ocean surface conditions and sea ice movement over time. Other activities on these ocean expeditions include sampling for plankton and monitoring other marine populations. IARC marine observations in the last 10 years have confirmed the presence of a rapidly warming Arctic Ocean. Researchers are studying terrestrial changes that directly impact local communities: snow depth, vegetation biomass change, permafrost studies, lake and river composition, forest fire satellite and ground observations, terrestrial respiration, and erosion from severe storms and permafrost degradation are some of the parameters being studied. Atmospheric investigations take researchers across the Arctic gathering data with ground stations, weather balloons, and taking samples directly at different heights and from lakes and ocean-based emissions. In addition to studying physical properties of the atmosphere, like wind speed and direction, temperature and humidity, researchers are also studying greenhouse gases such as methane and carbon dioxide. Observational data is integrated with collaborative modeling efforts across the disciplines to help us understand the Arctic as a system and to reduce uncertainty in Arctic climate change prediction. What is the relationship between Arctic and global climate? The Arctic is part of a global climate system. It exerts a great influence on global climate, and changes in global climate are amplified in the Arctic. According to global climate models, the effects of climate change and the greatest warming will be in the Arctic region. The polar regions act as radiators, keeping the rest of the planet cooler by releasing excess heat back into space. This heat is transported by the ocean and the atmosphere and travels northward and southward from equatorial and subtropical regions. The world's oceans cycle through a global conveyor belt, and the Arctic Ocean is an important cooling mechanism within the global climate system. All countries are affected by changes to global climate. IARC exists to nurture, integrate, and synthesize research being conducted internationally by individuals and groups in order to distinguish between natural and man-made changes in the present global warming trend. This effort will make predicting changes more accurate in the future. International collaborations and connections are essential for world-class research. The Hall of Flags on the second floor of the IARC facility represents more than 20 international groups working closely with IARC to bring greater understanding of the Arctic climate system. How can we help our local and global community prepare for and understand climate change? The IARC Education and Outreach Program covers a continuum of K-12 students, undergraduate and graduate students, early career scientists, established scientists, policymakers, and the general public. IARC engages a diverse group of individuals and broadens the participation of underrepresented and underserved groups. IARC's goals are to promote teaching, training, and learning while advancing discovery and understanding about the Arctic, changes in the Arctic, and the implications of those changes. IARC is devoting specific effort to answering questions that will help the international community understand, prepare for, and adapt to climate change, such as: to what extent is current climate change governed by natural variability? To what extent does human activity play a role in Arctic climate? And what are the likely impacts of climate change?